What's going on, peoples? Quick tutorial. Lord, you are good. Israel Houghton. Alright, Lord, you are good. Little sloppy playing there at the end, but hey, it's all good. It's close enough for government work. Quick tutorial on this song. Alright, if you want to know how to play this song, how they actually play it on the CD, this is the way they're playing it. The first chord, and don't play this E chord down here. That's not the way they play it. Play this chord here. This is an E5 chord, but it's kind of open. You kind of want to arch your fingers, and you're really only playing, you're only fretting on 3 of those strings. So it's that chord, and then it's kind of this B chord without the B in the bass note. And the reason why that's so important, because they actually stay on an E bass note on every chord switch. If you were playing that on the keyboard, that's how you would play it. So this is kind of a form of a B, but you're just not playing that B note in there. If you notice, what you would normally do if you played a B, you would fret that top string there. But if you take that off, you know, a little different finger position, it's the same chord, just basically without the root note. Then you're going to move down here. This is kind of like a substitute D, kind of like an open D chord here, sort of, but you've got that E in the bass. If you put your D in there, that's how you would play it. If you're in the key of E, you can play all of these open with your B and your E string ringing. Gives it a nice big strummy sound. Alright, so this is E5, the open B without the B note. It's kind of this open D chord with an E in the bass, and then all you're doing is taking this pinky off, putting your pointer finger down, and that's kind of like a substitute for the A. It's just like that substitute for the B that we played, but we're just moving down a whole step. Now if you played it with every root note the way you should, it would sound different. It would sound like this. But that sounds okay, but that's not the way they play it. If you listen to the intro of Lord You're Good in the actual recording, you hear the guy going. Just a quick note too, when you're playing in the key of E, there's almost no reason ever for you to play a bar chord. The guitar is the natural key of E, basically it's tuned to be played in E, and that high E string and the B string on the bottom, they should be open pretty much on every chord you play. Gives it a big strummy sound. Now, people from every nation and tongue. All I'm doing is that substitute that I gave you for that A. All I'm doing is just moving it up. Go up a whole step here. There's that B substitute. This would be a nice substitute for your C major, and then up to that D. And remember, we're in E, so we can play almost everything open with that B and E ringing out. So that gives you a nice big sound. Alright, so it goes. This chord. Alright, now this chord here, this is another cool thing about playing in E. There again, this is an A flat minor, okay, or the equivalent of one. You might see it called an A flat minor 11th, or Just, it's a good substitute chord for this bar chord, which is an A flat minor. You see how hokey that sounds? This sounds nice and smooth. And there again, you keep that nice open sound with that B and the E string ringing the whole time. Now what I'm doing is I'm just basically, I'm anchoring these two fingers on the D and the G string. These two fingers here. And all I'm doing is sliding. See that? Bring my middle finger up over the top. And I'm muting the A string. Very important. So when I'm strumming, that A string doesn't ring because I'm muting it. Alright, very important. So you lean that middle finger right on top of that. Alright, and then you go to that F sharp. Excellent chord for an F sharp minor substitution. In the key of E, I don't ever play a normal F sharp minor. It's that chord every time. Then it goes to that open C. Alright. Now, when it goes to the vamp, you're good all the time. Check how easy this is. Remember how I told you don't ever play the normal open E? Well, I lied. On this particular part of the song, you would play it that way. Why? Because you can keep that same chord form that you do with that E all the way down the neck, pretty much in 3 chord transitions. This is the E major. The actual chord is a G major. Alright, but if you want to keep it real simple, you just slide that E form all the way down to where you would be playing if you were playing that full G chord, and then right up to the A, just like we did in the other transition chord. So I want you to notice something real quick about this. We basically got this E form, and we play it 1, 2, 3, 4 different places on the neck in this song. Makes your chord switches flawless and really easy. Alright, now the second part of that is when we coming back down. There, it's still that E5. Remember I showed you that E5. That chord form where I'm only fretting on 3 strings. I'm letting the B and the E ring out, give me a big strummy sound. And I'm muting my top E string by basically letting my index finger kind of rest on it as I'm pressing down on the A string. So I get that big strum, but this E string doesn't note. You don't hear it. So all I'm doing is just sliding that chord down, that chord form down. So I'm sliding this E form up. I'm sliding this E5 chord down, this form. How simple is that? Sounds really complicated, but if you really know how the pros play, they make it easy and they add music value to the easy chord transitions. So that's Lord You're Good. Go practice. Have at it.